Well, tonight, Simply Money's Amy Wagner shows us how Aldi is making a big push to get your business and the secrets to saving money there.
Stop. Before you spend another dollar at Aldi, watch this. Most shoppers waste money at Aldi without knowing it. They buy the wrong products. Skip the best deals. Ignore the aisles where the real savings hide. The difference between amateur and expert? $1,500 a year, same store, same prices, different strategy. Today, I'm giving you the complete Aldi playbook for 2026. What to buy, what to avoid, how to maximize every trip. Stick around. The first rule alone will change how you shop forever. Let's break this down. What to buy. Dairy and eggs, the non-negotiables. Every expert Aldi strategy starts here. Dairy and eggs are where Aldi's pricing advantage is most extreme, most consistent, and hardest for competitors to match. Eggs at Aldi run $1.29 to $1.99 per dozen depending on sales. At Kroger, Publix, or Safeway, the same eggs cost $3 to $6. That's a 50 to 75% savings on something most families buy every single week. Milk follows the same pattern, $2.89 a gallon versus $4 to $5 elsewhere. It's milk. The quality is identical. The only difference is $1 to $2 staying in your wallet. But the product that separates casual shoppers from serious ones is the Irish butter. Countryside Creamery. Irish Creamery butter costs $2.99. Kerrygold, the famous one, the one food bloggers rave about, costs $4.99 to $5.99 everywhere else. Independent lab tests have confirmed what Aldi shoppers already suspected. The butterfat content is identical at 82%. The color is identical from the same grass-fed diet, and the flavor compounds are nearly indistinguishable. You're paying $3 less for a functionally identical product. A woman in suburban Dallas calculated that eggs, milk, and Irish butter alone save her family $215 annually compared to Kroger. That's before she buys anything else. Those three items are the foundation. The specialty cheese section is where the advantage becomes almost unfair. The specially selected aged reserve white cheddar at $2.95 has calcium lactate crystals that prove it's been properly aged 12 to 18 months. The same crystals you find in cheese shop cheddars costing $18 to $25 per pound. The brie at $3.99 rivals $10 brie at Whole Foods. These aren't approximations. They're legitimate specialty cheeses at commodity prices. The one dairy caution worth noting: flavored yogurts are inconsistent. Greek yogurt and plain yogurt are reliably good. Some flavored varieties are too sweet. The twice-as-nice guarantee covers you if something misses, but the core dairy section almost never misses. If dairy is the foundation, the next category is where the real strategic thinking begins. Because meat is where beginners waste the most money and where experts buy the most. Hit like and subscribe if you're finding this valuable. The avoid section later will save you from some expensive mistakes. What to buy? Meat, but only on your terms. Here's the rule that separates expert Aldi shoppers from everyone else. They buy enormous quantities of meat, but they never pay full price. Ever. Aldi's Never Any line, antibiotic-free, hormone-free chicken, beef, pork, and turkey, goes on sale in predictable rotating cycles. Ground beef roughly every 2 to 3 weeks. Chicken breast every 3 to 4 weeks. Pork and salmon on similar schedules. The cycles aren't advertised. You learn them by watching the weekly ad over time. A family in Colorado invested $150 in a chest freezer in early 2025. Within 6 months, it had paid for itself 3 times over. Their system. When Never Any chicken drops to $2.99 a pound, the sale price, they buy 25 to 30 pounds, portion it into meal-sized bags, and freeze everything. They don't buy chicken again until the next sale. Ground beef, same approach. Pork, same approach. The math is stark. Sale price chicken, $2.99 a pound. Regular Aldi price, $4.99. Regular supermarket price for comparable antibiotic-free chicken, $7 to $9. That's $4 to $6 per pound saved by buying on cycle at Aldi. A family eating chicken twice weekly saves $200 to $300 annually on one protein. Add ground beef, pork, and salmon sale cycles, and the total savings on meat alone approach $500 to $800 per year. The insider detail that makes this work even better. Sale meat is typically approaching its sell-by date within 3 to 5 days. Aldi needs to move it, but freeze it the day you buy it and the sell-by date becomes irrelevant. A former employee confirmed it plainly. Same quality, just closer to expiration. Freeze it and forget about it. The chest freezer is the key enabler. Without one, you're limited to what fits in your kitchen freezer. Maybe 10 pounds of meat at a time. With a $150 chest freezer, you can store 30 to 40 pounds and ride out the full 3 to 4 week cycle between sales without ever paying regular price. Every serious Aldi shopper owns one. It's the single highest return investment in this entire strategy. What to avoid in meat: pre-marinated proteins and specialty meat products. The convenience markup is significant. Buy plain meat on sale and season it yourself. You'll save 30 to 40% per pound. Fresh seafood is also a skip for most experts. Not bad, just not the extreme value other categories offer. Frozen seafood is the better play. Speaking of frozen, the next section is the most underrated part of the entire store. What to buy? Frozen foods, the secret weapon. There's a persistent myth in American grocery culture that fresh is always better than frozen. Nutritional science disagrees, and Aldi's freezer section proves why. Frozen vegetables at Aldi cost 85 cents to $1.29 per bag. Fresh vegetables, $1.49 to $3.99 for comparable quantity. But frozen vegetables are picked at peak ripeness and flash frozen within hours, often retaining more nutrients than fresh produce that spent a week in transit and 3 days on a shelf. A working mother in Michigan described her conversion. "I used to buy all fresh vegetables and throw away a third of them. Wilted spinach, soft peppers, mushy zucchini. I switched to 80% frozen from Aldi and my produce budget dropped 60%. I waste nothing, and my family can't tell the difference in cooked dishes." The frozen fruit is equally compelling. Berries at $2.99 to $3.99 for bags that would cost $6 to $9 fresh. Perfect for smoothies, baking, oatmeal, with zero waste and year-round availability regardless of season. The frozen stir-fry vegetable mixes deserve specific mention. $1.29 for restaurant-style combinations that cost $4 to $5 at other stores. Add protein and a sauce, and you have dinner in 15 minutes for under $3 per serving. That's cheaper than any fast food meal and healthier than all of them. But the real revelation is Aldi's frozen prepared foods. These are not the sad TV dinners of the 1990s. The frozen lasagna, stuffed peppers, and chicken tikka masala are legitimate meals at $3.99 to $5.99. Cheaper than fast food, better than most takeout, ready in minutes. The frozen pizzas genuinely rival mid-tier restaurants. The appetizers, mozzarella sticks, egg rolls, jalapeno poppers, are party-ready at prices that make hosting effortless. An Aldi employee in Wisconsin admitted what many of his colleagues already know. "My freezer at home is 80% Aldi. The prepared meals are my weeknight backup plan. $4 to feed my family is cheaper than McDonald's, and it actually tastes like real food. I'd buy it even if I didn't get a store discount." The frozen seafood deserves its own mention. Salmon portions at $6 to $8 per pound, shrimp at $5 to $7, cod at $4 to $5. All priced 40 to 60% below the fresh seafood counter at traditional grocers, which, unless you live on the coast, was frozen at some point anyway. You're paying a premium for thawed fish at other stores. Aldi skips the theater and sells it frozen at the real price. What to skip in frozen? The breakfast sandwiches are mediocre. The frozen waffles are fine but unremarkable. Ice cream is inconsistent. Some flavors are excellent, others are forgettable. Focus your freezer budget on vegetables, fruit, seafood, and prepared meals. That's where the value is most reliable. Now, let's talk about the aisle that quietly saves experts more money than any single category. What to buy? Pantry staples. Where compound savings live. Expert Aldi shoppers stock their pantries almost exclusively from Aldi. Not because any single item saves a dramatic amount, but because the aggregate savings across dozens of staples compound into serious money over a year. Pasta, 89 cents a box. Rice, $1.29 to $1.99. Canned tomatoes, 55 cents to 75 cents. Beans, 59 cents to 79 cents. Pasta sauce, 89 cents to $1.99. These are 40 to 60% below regular grocery stores for products that are functionally identical to name brands, often made by the same manufacturers on the same production lines. A budget-conscious family in Ohio did a one-time pantry overhaul, replaced every staple with the Aldi equivalent. The savings stabilized at $40 to $50 per month, $480 to $600 annually on pantry items alone. The organic angle is particularly compelling. Simply, Nature Organic Pasta at $1.29 to $1.49 is cheaper than conventional pasta at most competitors. Organic canned tomatoes, beans, and vegetables follow the same inverted logic. Aldi organic prices match or beat other stores' conventional prices. This is one of the most counterintuitive facts in grocery shopping. You can eat organic at Aldi for less than you'd spend on non-organic at Kroger or Safeway. Once people discover this, it fundamentally changes their shopping calculus. The baking supplies section is another quiet winner. Flour, sugar, brown sugar, baking soda, baking powder, vanilla extract, all priced well below competitors with identical quality. If you bake regularly, a full switch to Aldi baking supplies saves $15 to $20 per month. What to skip? Specialty international ingredients. If you cook a lot of Asian, Indian, or Latin American food, Aldi's selection is too limited. You'll need to supplement at ethnic grocery stores or larger supermarkets. The canned tuna is also inconsistent. Some experts prefer paying more elsewhere for better quality. What to buy? Bread and bakery, the sleeper category. Aldi's everyday bread is straightforwardly cheap. Love and Fresh sandwich bread at 85 cents to $1.29 versus $3 to $4 at regular stores. It's perfectly fine bread at a fraction of the price. But the real story is the specially selected artisan bread at $2.99. These are par-baked European loaves, rosemary, jalapeno cheddar, Asiago cheese, that you finish in your oven for 10 to 12 minutes. The result is crackling crust, bakery-quality bread that smells like a French boulangerie. A home cook in Portland described the impact. I serve these at dinner parties. Every single time, someone asks which bakery I used. When I say Aldi, they laugh because they think I'm joking. $3 for bread that looks and tastes like $7. The expert move. Buy 5 to 10 loaves and freeze them unbaked. Bakery-quality bread on demand, any night of the week, with 10 minutes notice. The croissants, brioche, and cinnamon rolls at $1.49 to $2.99 follow the same value logic. Products that cost $4 to $6 elsewhere. What to skip? The sliced brioche bread is overpriced for what it is. Whole brioche loaves are better value. The bagels are mediocre, adequate, but not worth the trip if that's all you're after. What to buy? Breakfast, snacks, chocolate, and coffee. Experts approach these categories with a simple filter. Buy Aldi's version of anything you'd buy name brand elsewhere. Millville cereals at $1.99 to $2.49 are functionally identical to the name brands they imitate, made in many cases by the same manufacturers. Clancy's chips and cheese puffs at $1.19 to $1.89 are consistently comparable to Frito-Lay products costing $3 to $5. Savorit's crackers are name-brand crackers with a different label at half the price. The Moser Roth chocolate bars at $1.79 are the standout. German-made, properly tempered, with a 70% cacao bar that's beaten Lindt and Ghirardelli in multiple blind tastings. The Barissimo coffee at $3.99 for 12 ounces versus $9 to $12 for Starbucks or Dunkin' bags is smooth, consistent, and perfectly adequate for daily drinking. One self-described chocolate snob calculated her savings. I used to spend $25 monthly on Lindt and Godiva. Moser Roth cost me $7 monthly. Same satisfaction. $216 saved annually on chocolate. What to skip? Flavored coffees are hit or miss. The breakfast bars aren't notably better than name brands on sale. The yogurt parfaits in the refrigerated section are overpriced for what you get. Make your own with Aldi yogurt and granola for a third of the cost. Now, everything above is what to buy. What follows is equally important, because the categories Aldi doesn't do well in are where beginners quietly lose the savings they built up. What to avoid? Name brand products at Aldi. This catches more beginners than anything else. Aldi carries limited name brand items, Coca-Cola, certain snacks, a few specialty products, and shoppers assume they're deals because they're at Aldi. They're not. Aldi's name brand pricing is average at best, sometimes higher than competitors running sales. The entire Aldi value proposition is built on private labels. The moment you reach for a name brand at Aldi, you're paying standard retail in a store designed to undercut it. The rule: if you need a specific name brand, buy it on sale at Kroger, Costco, or Target. At Aldi, buy Aldi. What to avoid: personal care and cleaning. Inconsistent value. This is where expert opinions genuinely split. The Radiance dish soap is excellent, comparable to Dawn at half the price. Laundry detergent is adequate. Trash bags are decent, but personal care products, shampoo, body wash, deodorant, are mediocre. Not terrible, but not cheap enough to justify the quality gap. The savings compared to drugstore brands with coupons are minimal. The Lacura skincare line has genuine fans, but it's seasonal and availability is unpredictable. You can't build a routine around products that may or may not be in stock. The rule: try Aldi cleaning products selectively. Don't force the personal care items. The real savings are in food. That's where your energy should go. What to avoid: produce, with important exceptions. Here's where nuance matters. Aldi's produce isn't bad, it's inconsistent. And inconsistent produce that goes bad in 2 days is more expensive than pricier produce that lasts a week. Staple vegetables are reliable: bananas, potatoes, onions, carrots, apples, lettuce. These are consistently fresh, well-priced, and worth buying every trip. Berries, tomatoes, avocados, and specialty produce are a gamble. Sometimes they're perfect. Sometimes they're 3 days from composting. The issue isn't that Aldi's produce is inherently lower quality, it's that their just-in-time supply chain, designed to minimize warehouse costs, means produce has a shorter window of freshness by the time it reaches the shelf. Some weeks you get lucky, some weeks you don't. A longtime Aldi shopper put it best: I inspect every berry container and every tomato. If they look great, I buy them. If anything looks questionable, I skip and buy at the farmer's market. No loyalty to bad produce. That's the one category where I give myself permission to shop elsewhere without guilt. The Simply Nature organic produce is excellent value when available, often cheaper than conventional produce at competitors. Buy it when it's there. Don't count on it always being there. The rule: shop produce on Wednesday when it's freshest from restocking. Inspect everything. Skip anything that doesn't look right. No shame in buying produce elsewhere. What to avoid: Aldi finds, the profitable trap. Let's be honest about what Aldi finds actually are: a deliberately engineered impulse purchase zone. And understanding it as such might be the single most important discipline in expert Aldi shopping. The middle aisle rotates weekly with kitchen gadgets, seasonal clothes, home decor, exercise equipment, and random household items. They're priced to feel like deals. They're displayed to catch your eye. And the scarcity model, once it's gone, triggers the exact psychological urgency that makes people buy things they don't need. Aldi knows this. The aisle of shame, as the internet calls it, is not an accident, it's a margin play. The food aisles operate on razor-thin margins, sometimes 1 to 2%. The Aldi finds operate on much higher margins. That inflatable kayak for $39.99, the cast iron skillet set for $19.99, the seasonal throw blankets. These are where Aldi recovers the profit they sacrifice on groceries. Most Aldi finds are not good value compared to what you'd find on Amazon, at Target, or at specialty retailers. The quality is generally adequate but unremarkable. The convenience is real. It's right there while you're shopping. But convenience is exactly how impulse purchases work. The exception: seasonal specialty foods. German stollen at Christmas. Grilling sauces in summer. Imported chocolate during international weeks. If it's food and it's seasonal, it might genuinely be worth it. Everything else requires discipline. One veteran shopper described her rule: I walk past the Aldi finds aisle with blinders on. If it's not on my list, it doesn't exist. That one habit probably saves me $50 a month in stuff I'd buy, use twice, and throw away. The people who save the most at Aldi are the ones who resist the middle aisle most consistently. That's not a coincidence. What to avoid: specialty dietary items. If you're strictly gluten-free, keto, paleo, or vegan, Aldi's selection is improving but still shallow. The basics exist: gluten-free bread, some dairy alternatives, a few specialty items. But the variety isn't there for someone who needs extensive options. A shopper with celiac disease explained the reality. Aldi covers maybe 40% of my gluten-free needs. The rest requires Whole Foods, Sprouts, or online ordering. It's getting better every year, but I can't rely on Aldi alone. The rule? Use Aldi for what they carry. Supplement specialty needs elsewhere. Don't expect one-stop shopping if you have significant dietary restrictions. The system, how it all comes together. Everything above is information. This section turns it into a system. Timing. Shop. Wednesday morning. The trucks arrive Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. By Thursday, popular items are thinning out. By weekend, you're picking through what's left. Wednesday between 9 a.m. and noon is when you get the best selection of the week. Fresh meat deliveries, new Aldi finds, restocked specialty items. Non-negotiable. Preparation. Every Tuesday night, check the weekly ad on the Aldi app. Identify meat sales. These determine your protein purchases for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Note any deep discounts on staples. Build your list around the ad, supplemented by your regular weekly needs. The route through the store. Produce first, while it's freshest in your cart. Meat section next. Buy sale-priced proteins in maximum quantities your freezer allows. Dairy every trip, no exceptions. Pantry staples as needed. Freezer section for backup meals and vegetables. Bakery for bread. Chocolate and coffee on a monthly restock cycle. The budget breakdown that experienced shoppers converge on. Roughly 30% on sale-priced meat, 20% on produce and frozen vegetables, 15% on dairy, 15% on pantry staples, 10% on bread and breakfast, and 10% on discretionary items like wine, chocolate, and specialty cheese. The freezer investment. Serious Aldi shoppers own a chest freezer. It allows bulk meat purchases during sales, frozen vegetable stockpiling, and backup meal storage. A $150 freezer pays for itself in 3 to 6 months through sales cycle shopping. It's the single highest ROI purchase you can make as an Aldi shopper. The 80-20 rule. Expert shoppers buy 70 to 80% of their groceries at Aldi and fill the remaining 20 to 30%. Specialty ingredients, ethnic foods, specific name brands, high-quality produce at one other store. Aldi first, always. Supplementary store second, never the other way around. A family of 3 in Illinois tracked their spending for a full year using this system. Annual grocery total, $4,200. A comparable family shopping primarily at Kroger, $8,500. The difference, $4,300, went into a retirement account. Another shopper put the long-term math into perspective. In 10 years of strategic Aldi shopping, I've saved approximately $40,000 compared to what I'd have spent at a traditional grocery store. I invested the difference consistently. Between market returns and compound growth, that grocery money is now worth over $65,000 in my retirement account. People don't think of grocery shopping as a financial decision. It is. It might be one of the most consequential financial decisions a family makes because it happens every single week for decades. That's the real insight. Aldi doesn't require sacrifice. It doesn't require eating worse food or accepting lower quality. It requires a system, a Wednesday morning routine, a freezer, an ad you check on Tuesday nights, the discipline to skip the middle aisle, the knowledge of what to buy and what to leave. The store hasn't changed. The prices haven't changed. The only thing that changes is how you use it. If this guide changed how you think about Aldi, hit subscribe. We're breaking down expert strategies for every major store so you keep more of your money. I'll see you in the next one.